You are meant for more, and my guest today is Jean Nowalive, is what he created, and he will tell us how his spiritual journey began, how it changed his life, and I'm really, really excited, Jean, that you are here, because you're one person who I know who is really applying all the wisdom you got from your spirituality through your journey into your whole life, also into the business. So I would like you to introduce just a few words about your background and then tell us when your journey began.
So first of all, thank you. Thanks a lot, Stella, for your invitation. We appreciate it. To start my journey started, I'll make a brief introduction, but I started in the countryside. Like I grew up in a village, so in the countryside, so I could explore nature and agriculture when I was younger, and I guess it has started to plant a seed in my mind, in my being. But then for many years I had like a traditional career in academic way. I was an engineer, like I studied engineering in an engineering school, then a business school. I worked for many years in the corporate side, if I may say, like in investment funds around the world. And after a while, I realized that I couldn't reach freedom this way. And so I decided to come back to the countryside after these experiences. And I started to find again the wisdom from this kind of village in nature, etc. And so from that,
well, maybe I ask you, because that's really I think that's a great point to include also nature, because nature is so powerful. And as I understood it right, you also grew up in nature, so you know about the benefits of it.
Yeah.
And then you come back, right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely nature gives me some wisdom and gives me some guidance, even in business, obviously, because if we observe nature, we found solution, we found explanation even to business, because in nature you harvest what you plant, so it's the same in business, or in business you have to diversify if you want to harvest all year long, so
but how exactly is it that somebody can imagine, for them who are not in nature? Is it just being there? Or are you doing something special, specific? Is it a practice, or is it just nature is touching that much that you calm down?
I believe just by being, it's for sure a first step. By being in nature, spending some time in nature, in Japan, they even send the people who are sick or in depression with anxiety into the forest, so they can just synchronize more their energy to nature, because we all come from nature. So by just being there, I think we start the process. And then obviously we always learn from each other. So by learning with some farmers, observing the people who live there for a while, so they have integrated a lot about it. So
yeah. But I really love your point, Jean, because just by being in nature, and that is so easy, that costs nothing. Everybody could do it. Right. And you could be in nature and just be, just refill your whole body. That's medicine on every level. So it's so great that you bring it in, because it's part of your journey, of course.
Yeah, for sure. No, as you said, and it's free. I very often say that to people I work with, and eating, we eat like 2-3 times a day, and we go to nature, and it's free. So basically the main pleasure of life are basically free. So, and to make sure it's easy to do it, to get out of the city, spend some time in nature, shut down the noise, start to listen also nature, with the 5 senses, connect with nature. And for sure, then you find answers for when you go back to the city, when you go back to business. So I try to have some habits about it, because you can really get out of it. So you have some habits, like every day, if you can go a bit every day to nature, or every day to a park, or at least every week and every month, you know, to have like a schedule for it, because otherwise you can lose track and go back to too much the program of the city, of the noise of the program, like, yeah.
Yes, so you have your ritual, how to approach it. So you have like a schedule.
Yeah.
Included in. Great. Yeah.
Yeah. And swimming, like I go swimming in the ocean as well. I try to change the type of nature as well. So where I come from is more the valleys, like with a lot of green, you know, the forest, and then I go to the ocean to swim as well. Here I'm based in Biarritz in south of France, and we even have like here a doctor who wrote a book, and he called it Detoxification, with C, you know, SEA, meaning that all the benefits from swimming in the sea, swimming in the ocean. So this is also a practice that I do, yeah.
So you really have a look into your whole body to address everything, your body, your mind, your soul. Yes. And let us talk about, after realizing nature is such a huge part in my life, what was your next step that you realized you are meant for more and your spiritual journey began much deeper?
Yeah, it was, you know, as I said, you can lose track. And for a while, when I came back, as I said, I went back to nature. I spent some time there, and I started to develop some businesses. And as I developed the businesses, and I kind of, I guess, lose track from this zoom out of life, you know, this spiritual view of life. And so as I lose track, I started probably to manifest some issues also. So I had some challenges in business, challenges to solve. And when
get it. When did you thought or start that was a choice, you know, yet that first it was an idea, then a choice that started to tell you, or you tell yourself, oh, I'm losing track. I want something different. What is it, what I want, and how will I approach it? How that idea to you, through what circumstances?
Yeah, it's, you know, we say that there is like 3 ways to change, and one of the way is to have a emotional charge, you know, emotional shock charge. And so I had like a big challenge, and so I started to feel less good. I mean, how do you say, I started to feel a bit bad about it, etc. So I started to feel my body, you know, having maybe more illness, more sickness, etc. And so I started to think, okay, I have to shift. And then, you know, when you put kind of an intention, the universe start to deliver with small sign. And so one of my clients with one of my company was one of the team leader of Dr. Joe Dispenza. So he was into the meditation. I wouldn't expect, you know, one client in real estate to bring me this kind of sign, this kind of practices, etc. But he did, and he told me, yeah, Jean, you should have a look on meditation side. You should have a look on that. And I started the journey with exploring more like the knowledge, because I learned by experience in nature, and now I found some mentors, I found some guidance. And so I went to some meditation retreats with Dr.
Yeah.
Dispenza.
So you want to add something, right?
Yeah.
So typically we all have challenges in our life, and then you looked further, what else can I include, right?
Yeah, how can I get better?
Yeah.
How can I get better? And so, and also I realized with my business, I was like, okay, if I just focus on making more money and just developing the business, I will get tired of it. And so that's also how I wanted more for my team, for my mission here. And so I started to define in a different way my work. It wouldn't be my work anymore, it would be my mission. And so I started to implement that in the company. I started to be more vocal about it. And then, you know, it's a process. It's not like you don't have the perfect vision at the beginning, but you just start to the process, and along the way, it gets bigger and bigger. And so you understand more, and you are being encouraged with this vision, with this mission, because you see that it brings benefits to the team is better, the team is happier, the sales goes better, etc. So it's I think on the process I was encouraged. I had this idea and this light at the end of the tunnel that something is better, something is more. But then as you keep walking to the light, it gets bigger and bigger. And so then you realize, okay, life is probably more than just going to make money and having a job and just passing the time, you know.
Right. And what did you discover? Because you said you included meditation. I think also, you know, I'm coming from meditation. That's really a powerful tool. So what did you discover through meditation that you decided, oh, wow, that's a tool I will apply? And I heard already all your changes through that.
Yeah, with meditation, you know, I realized that I did a Ironman, which is a long triathlon, a very long triathlon. Yeah, it was my first triathlon ever, and I decided to do an Ironman. And on the process, I realized that we have 3 limits when we want to achieve a goal. That is the body, that is then the environment, and time. And to do an Ironman, definitely you can see the 3 limits, because you feel your body. Okay, I have pain in my knees, or okay, I'm too tired. So that's one limit. The second limit is the environment. It's too hot, it's too cold, there is too winds, it's too windy. And the third one is time. Okay, how long I have done, how long I have left. So always these 3 limits. And with meditation, by practicing it, we can overcome it, because what we do when we meditate, we start.
Now it's interesting. How can we overcome it?
Yeah, and by training with meditation, you know, when we meditate, you just sit down, you shut down your 5 senses, and basically you start to have, okay, my back, oh no, maybe I want to lay down. Okay, so that's the body. Then you have the environment. You want to open the eyes, you want to experiment again the life with the environment, with your 5 senses. Okay, second limit, environment. But you can overcome it. You can say to your body and to yourself, okay, you stay here. And then the third one is time, you know, how long I have done, how long I have left with my meditation practice. And so by doing that every day, 1 hour a day, or starting maybe with 15 minutes, then 30 minutes, and then maybe 1 hour a day, it's like a muscle. It's like training in sports, you know, you get better. And so by doing so, I think you overcome these 3 limits. And so that's how by doing it, I experience also some benefits from it. I had kind of this theory in mind to overcome these 3 limits. And by doing it, I felt better and better. And I started to be less influenced by my environment. My body was less painful, less like a burden. It was even like a better tool to do an Ironman.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I'm absolutely with you. And that's really cool how you explained it. And how did you then also came to the point, because before you also said you put more value into it and said, maybe money alone is not the thing, right?
Yeah.
That bring me also more pain, burnout, or whatever. How does it come? So on one side, you overcome your body through meditation. And what else happened? It sounds like there happened something else, because different values came up.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, definitely. You're right. Then when you do some meditation as well, you start to be less materialistic, if I may say. So you start to focus less on material things. And so, sorry?
Just why you start? Do you have any?
Because I think by meditating, you start to connect more to the immaterial world. You start to connect more with the emotion. You start to connect more with the thoughts. And so you start to be less and less material. And so you have more the creative mind, more creative power. But the good thing—
this is the point. I really love it, what you said right now, because you sense you are more than material.
Yeah.
That means material is just a small part, even if you know what the universe, how less material is there at the end, almost nothing. And the rest is more. That's really a cool point.
Yeah, definitely. It's a small thing. Yeah, the material world is small. And even if, I'm engineer, so I like the science explanation. And even we learn that with our five senses, we can just get, a range of frequencies, but there are much more frequencies. We cannot get the frequencies that our phone communicate, or that the animals communicate between themselves. So basically, yeah, you start to realize, okay, maybe this material world is just a small things. But by doing this meditation and by going more into a spiritual being more connected to that, it's also easier than to manifest material things in the material world. And that's a very...
It's so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really a paradox, if I may say. But and this is something I would teach to my salesmen, is stop focusing on the commission, focus on serving people, focus on giving some value to people, and then you will get the money. You will be paid for that by the universe. You will be paid by a client, etc. And so you can see
another cool thing, what you said, to manifest through the passion, heart quality, by serving, or however you do it, by gratitude. That is the real power.
Yeah, definitely. I often goes back to some wisdom of some culture, and even I grew up in a Catholic way, in France. I don't practice anymore, but I found back very often some wisdom there that I see again in other culture, other religion, and that I could apply. And so definitely just serve other people, just think about the next generation. And by doing so, you will be more rewarded than just thinking about yourself, than just being materialistic. So yeah, it's
yeah, what I can see through you explaining your life or telling us about your life, that through that spiritual journey, through the meditation, to discover there are more than the material world. Yeah. Also, what I really like about that is that you living it, that you brought it also into your business, this values. Not so many people are doing it.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. This is this discovery, or this idea that we are meant for more. Then you start to, if you do some practices like meditation, like going into nature, like journaling, like doing sports as well, improving relationships with others, but just developing ourselves and realizing that we are maybe just passenger on Earth, and maybe we have a mission to do, or we have a life to live. Then you start to really embody it more and more and more. And so then there is no other option. If you want to keep being aligned, there is no option than just talking about it to the people around you. And it includes your family, it includes the colleagues, it includes all the people around. And of course, along the way, some people are going to be skeptical, or going to ask questions, but it's part of the process also. It's part of the, if we want to be meant for more, I think it's also being challenged by the environment, the existing environment. But as we go on,
it's the process, right?
Yeah, it's a process for sure.
Yeah. And do you define yourself? Do you have a specific goal, or a purpose?
I believe, the first purpose I have is to live my life fully, because
what does it mean fully? Because this is
it is definitely, and by being in conscious, I would say, by just not going into stress, like being conscious, having like a body, taking care of my body, taking care of my mind. And then I just, in a way, there is a time for preparation, or there is a time for my routine, for my rituals. And then I just also go with the flow. You know, I trust the universe and I go with the flow and I experience my life fully. Because when we start to learn these kind of things, when we start to include this kind of practice, we want quickly or to tell it to other people and to teach other people, and then we forget even to do it for ourselves. So I think the first thing is definitely to apply it to me a lot fully, and I will also see with life where it leads me, because I trust the universe, you know, to bring me what I need, and then to share it with other people, so I can learn
Sounds
from
like you stopped having specific goals and go more with the flow to trust that the universe will bring it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is the journey for everybody. After a while, I also do not have specific goals anymore, so I go with the flow. But it's also okay to have specific goals, even in the beginning, because you need that process.
Yeah. That's why I would talk more of intentions than goals, than you know, to reach targets, or then of course to not be too far from the society. We have goals in the companies I have. We have, you know, some targets, but more importantly, we put intentions, and by these intentions, we follow the process, and we stay aware, we stay conscious, so we can get the sign. And but not putting too much goals, because maybe you want to reach a target, and in fact the universe can get you another target, even a better one, a bigger one.
Much more, yeah.
Not because we would put the targets or the goals based on our program, based on our rational mind. Instead of, if we put the intention and we follow kind of the journey, and we trust the subconscious and the universe to help us go to this intention, it might go bigger than the rational mind.
That's
Definitely.
great. Can you, we are coming to an end now. Can you tell us also about your daily practice? What is important for you, how you are applying it?
Yeah, so I consider, basically how I defined it, I consider that I have 5 parts I have to take care every day. The first one is my mind, the second one is my body, third one is my time, the fourth one is the relationship, and the fifth one is finance, to improve every day these 5 tools, or these 5 elements. And so I would just wake up like 6 a.m. I do 1 hour of meditation, which is mainly making a void, you know, not being too much about visualization, but like being in the void and just relaxing, and making sure there is space for then creation. And then I would write down, I would do some journaling. I go to some sports. Very often I go fasting without eating. I do some sports, so I really wake up the body, and I put it.
Yeah, I want also to include or just emphasize that to move the body is so important, and really not only meditation and all these things.
Sure.
Science know nowadays that you can get rid also of depression by using your muscles. It's really so important. Yeah, great.
Yeah, so I do sports like with kind of intensity, so really to shake the body and to maintain also to stay young also, because by doing some strong exercise you can stay young. And then I would maybe come back and to my place. I would have a healthy breakfast. You know, no processed food, like we all know, but I focus on nutrition as well, because if we lose that, then it's also bad for the body, bad for the mind. So it's that's why it's a balance to have. So and then I start to be more about the morning. Usually I try to create more, so it's a time where I don't connect too much then to business partners or with clients, or this kind of environment, but I stay by myself, or I start to be in a creative mode, or to do a to-do list, or to organize my agenda. And then in the afternoon, I would go to meet other people. Like I feel, okay, now I'm ready also to see what the universe brings me, and so I'm ready to connect more to other people. And yeah, and then by the end of the day, I like to go watch the sunset. You know, stay by nature.
Yeah, but my last question about time, because I had lately a live call, and that was the point about, was asking about time, how to include, to put that into your daily practice. And you are doing a lot, Jean, and you are a businessman, and you have a lot to do, and you are able to apply it. So what would you tell to people if they ask you about how to put all that into my day?
Yeah. So
Advice, yes.
yeah,
Because you're doing it, and you're working, and you have a life.
yeah, for sure. There is
Small
one.
advice.
Sorry.
A small advice for
Yeah,
everybody.
small advice is journaling. Is journaling, having a journal that we write down every night, and about putting intention, about putting what are the main principles we want in our life. And if you want a balance, if you want to have a healthy body, if you're journaling about it, then you'll find a way during the week. You find time, you find a way. Maybe it will manifest by spending less time there and more time in the gym, or more time by nature. But journaling right before we go to bed, and starting to put intention, and maybe if it reassures you, include some agenda about it, but not too specific, not be too stressed about it. Otherwise,
you said it. That's really a great advice, because by doing so, that's, you start a thinking process. What is important for you? You're journaling, and then the process gets started. And the other, what you need to include will come. That's really a great advice.
Yeah,
and
it's about changing the habits also, because the people who don't have time, they don't realize, but they have to change the habits. And so to do so, to make them evolve, it's difficult to be aware of how to change. So journaling, and then follow the process.
Right. So thank you so much for that interview. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks very much, Stella.
And thank you. See you hopefully soon.